Hello, y'all. This is Shy Ridgely back again on Chet Chats as a co-host. We have my dad here, Chet himself, present. As mentioned last week, this is part 2 from last week's conversation. Today is Mental Health Awareness Day nationally, and it is also Mental Health Awareness Week. So before we jump into our actual conversation and dialogue around that subject, we have some people we would like to thank today.
Good day, family and friends. Yes, before we get started, I must thank our sponsors again, absolutely99.com. Please check it out. Changing Lives at Homes, Hefe Hair, LA Cruiser, Premier Tag and Title, and last but not least, Synergy. Please check out these people. They are making it happen for me and my daughter as it relates to Chet Chats, and hopefully more sponsors will come along so we can get further along down the road. Turning it back over to my lovely daughter, Shy. How you been?
I've been great. Okay, so as we mentioned last week, mental health awareness is a big thing. It's a big topic to kind of dive into. So I do have some more questions, naturally, obviously. Again. So
I like this talking.
There is a huge stigma around mental health disorders and around mental health diseases, etc. So my first question is, how do you think we go about reducing the stigma so that people are looked at as equals and not looked at or identified with that disorder?
That's a good question, and I'm sorry for me not giving you exact eye contact because we know we're looking at the show. But one of the biggest things that I'm learning is that we as people need to educate ourselves. We need to encourage equality as it relates between physical as well as mental health. And I think educating ourselves and knowing the facts will get a better outcome and help reduce the stigma that's associated with it, in my opinion. You know, focus on the positive, support people with and not being so negative. And as well as you become more abreast in knowledge of it, you share your education with others. Know the facts, educate others with these things, in my opinion.
I agree with that. So I guess my next question then is, how do we educate others? Like, how do we go about spreading that awareness? Because it is an important topic and it does affect, I think it's about 18.4% of, 1 in 5 adults in America specifically suffer from a mental disorder. So how do you go about educating them?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing personally is, like I shared my story last week, is that I seek therapy myself. And again, I think by me seeking therapy and showing with others that even the most sound person may need help mentally at any particular time. It's just like with exercising your muscles. Certain muscles need help at certain times. So that's one of the things I definitely would do. I would choose empowering over shame, embracing it, be more powerful than being shameful to people. I like to thank Shy for joining in, LA Cruisers. Thank y'all. Yes, I gave y'all a shout out. Excuse me, let me get back to the topic at hand. Well, that's how I think will help. Letting people know that it doesn't just happen in your household. It's happening in a lot of households across the world, I believe. And the more people become knowledgeable on this situation, I think the more it would start an open dialogue between people and to openly, honestly discuss it. Because we quick to pull out a muscle book and show how good my biceps got, triceps got, but we're not quick to pull out a book that shows a mental awareness and help for others, in my opinion. Not all, I'm just saying some. So with that, the more we have, the more I believe people that suffer from mental illness will not be ashamed for coming out and saying they have a mental illness. Or have something that's going on, because it might not always be just mental. It could be a combination of things that's going on and whatnot.
Really quickly, hi Caitlin, hi Lauren, thanks for tuning in. I don't know why it's not up there, but I have it here.
Oh, okay.
So I think then we have to normalize it, if that makes sense. We have to normalize the fact that there's nothing wrong with having a disorder, and the fact that it is called a disorder, we had this conversation briefly last night.
Right.
I kind of have an issue with, I guess, because normal to me personally isn't an actual thing. Normal is something that people decided normal was.
Right, because they put parameters on certain things that call normal or abnormal.
Right.
So it can, I guess, move society along as a whole.
So we're able to identify people. But the thing is, like, we don't ever actually know someone. You know, a lot of people who have mental disorders don't wear it physically. You can't see it because it's in your brain, you know? So it's like, how do you, I guess, differentiate people who are normal versus who aren't normal without judging them biasly, I guess?
Well, I think, unfortunately, for me, I can speak for myself. I grew up with being somewhat prejudiced. I had prejudice. Mm-hmm. I have even been judgmental at times because of my lack of understanding.
Right.
And I try to work on that each day for myself, so I won't be judgmental. Do I judge? Absolutely, because certain things I don't want to be around. Right. So I have to judge the situation, but I try to work on not being judgmental is one thing. And then another thing, as you stated, that many people do not wear the actual quote unquote disability on their actual face. Like, it's not like more so like a physical disability when you had Down syndrome or you have a handicap when, you know, in certain ways actually physically seen. So that's definitely things that we could work on. And again, I look for any professional people that care to chime in or join me.
Yes, please chime in.
Please chime in. Please join me. Give me more knowledge so I can spread this knowledge to other people that may not know or may not have an outlet to know about this understanding, because I know, in my opinion, the more education we have on the subject matter, the more resolve that can take place.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things, and I look forward to anybody, like I said, for me, and anybody, again, know my journey. I just came home from a long imprisonment, and I know that the rules that apply in prison does not necessarily apply in society as I move forward with, you know, my family, my friends, my career. And so I sought help, and I really believe this help is helping me. Do I get it right all the time? No, because I had to reprogram my mind to understand the process that's going on. And I know personally, if you educate yourself overall, you can get a better understanding of self. And if you can get a better understanding of self, then you can then help others as you move along in society, in my opinion.
Hi, Alana. Caitlin, yes, I totally agree. It is okay not to be okay. And I kind of spoke on this last week too, but you have to be willing to accept help and to ask for help. And a lot of times I believe that people don't actually know that they need help, but when you're aware of some of the characteristic of revolving around mental health disorders, you're able to like catch those moments with people who might not actually know that they're suffering from them.
Yes, because and a friend of mine, he posted a post last week about depression, and
it's very real.
It's very real. And again, all those who may be thinking they had depression or do have depression, please go to your local people that you cherish and respect and seek help, because like the young lady said, it is okay, because it's just like anything else as it relates to physical. When people want to get in shape, they want to get their body together, their face together, so they take measures to doing this. So the same measures that you take to get you physically fit is some of the same measures I think that can be applied to getting you mentally fit, and, you know, with each other. And it's exercises. Again, I'm not a strong component of just medicine because I don't know enough about medicines to give or to, you know, advocate for that. But I believe they say certain medicines do help, certain herbs do help, exercise do help, they tell me. And again, as I say, and this is what my therapist shared with me, you know, certain components that does help, and I try to apply them and whatnot. And one of the things I try to apply is, if I'm feeling flustered, take a deep breath, relax, and say, take over. And meaning take over, I ask a higher being than me, which is God. And again, I'm not getting religious on anybody out here, but I do believe in a higher God, as I stated before. And I ask him or her to take over. And then I find a calm come back over me a lot of times. And this is one of the methods, rather than just acting out, I try to relax and release and be at peace with himself. I meditate now. I meditate more often, and it doesn't have to be long meditations, but just a few minutes to give your brain time to wind down with all the things that's going on out here, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. There's this challenge called the Mindful Minute.
Mm-hmm. Never heard of it.
Yeah. So if you have an Apple Watch, there's an
Apple. Y'all got a plug.
That just reminds you, you can set timers and just reminds you to take a minute, 3 minutes, however many minutes you want, to actually take that second to just breathe. Because constantly, I feel like everyone has such busy lives, busy in a different capacity, but we're constantly running, we're constantly doing stuff, and we're kind of pushing our health, mental health, any kind of health really to the back burner a little bit. And it takes that moment to say, hey, like, slow down. You need to take a second for yourself. And going back to what you're saying, what works for you with dealing with your issues, etc., it's not a cookie cutter thing. For everyone, it's going to be something different, right?
Exactly.
So it's really about figuring out what's going to help you. So I also went to therapy for a long time, and I still talk to my therapist on the phone whenever I do need to talk to her. But what works for you isn't going to work for me. What works for me is not going to work for whoever's viewing this. It's about finding that path, what's going to help you maintain mental stability,
that equilibrium within you.
Exactly.
Because it's just like working out. Exactly. Every method doesn't work for every person, so it's different methods of doing push-ups, it's different methods of doing sit-ups, it's different methods of jogging, and so forth. So I encourage people to get out and find what method that works for you. Exactly. Tanya, thank you for joining us. I appreciate y'all honesty, and the more honest we get on this subject matter as it affects us and we reboot our minds, I believe we can move forward as a whole and collectively to do better in our society. But until we recognize this as a serious issue, and I'm not saying some people have not already recognized it as a serious issue, but in my community growing up, it was considered taboo. I mentioned that last week. You was considered an outcast, or you was considered, quote unquote, the word crazy if you sought help in a therapeutic way. So I'm trying to change that. As I said, I'm for change, and hopefully my changes with my help of my co-host Shai will be better for not just me and her, and for families to come, generations to come, to look at this as not as a stigma, but as an issue that can be helped with proper methods in place and whatnot. So I thank all that's been tuning in, and please share with your friends and family members that might not take this seriously, or take it seriously and don't know how to seek out help. And like I said, any of those who's on with us, please give us your feedback, because this is the only way I believe we can resolve issues with honest dialogue with each other. And again, it might be hurtful at now, but honestly, when I saw help, it makes a whole difference to me. It makes a whole difference, because some of my ideologies and theologies was outdated because I was being, in a confined space for so long, that I just know I needed to get out of that space. And for all those that are coming home from incarceration in particular, please seek help. I know it might sound, man, he don't know what he's talking about, I don't need help. But if you worked your body, please work your mind as well. Get them as equally strong, and you will, in my opinion, you will have a great outcome. Those that are mentally in prison, please seek help. I mean, I don't know what all the forms are yet, but I will continue to learn as we move along. Hey, Desiree, please forgive me for, I don't know how to, again, I'm working to be balanced with this as well. Tanya, What else going on, Shy?
Alana, we love you too. Caitlin, thank you for that. Another source, Mood Tools, Caitlin was saying, has a lot of videos and resources as well to continue that dialogue.
Thank you,
so
Caitlin.
Appreciate that shout out. Awesome.
Definitely, I appreciate that. Any other topics that you wanted to discuss as it relates to mental health with yourself or with anybody you know?
Mm-hmm. I think that it's important to start having that dialogue early on in a conversation with someone. So even with children, I know there's a lot of schools talk about why cigarettes and drugs are bad for kids, and that starts in elementary school. I remember having those conversations, and a lot of times they bypass the health aspect of that as well. And so for me, it's like I was diagnosed with anxiety. I didn't even know I had anxiety.
Wow,
I didn't know what it was. And when I was 8, going through all of the situation
with me,
you,
I apologize for that.
It's life, and with post-traumatic stress disorder too. So I was 8, and that's 3rd grade. You don't really understand, I guess, a lot of what's going on with you. And so for someone to kind of tell me what it was that I was experiencing, to put, I guess, a word, attach it to what it was that I was experiencing physically, mentally, emotionally, etc., kind of helped me identify what it was exactly. And so with that being said, because I was exposed to it and I understood it at such a young age, I believe that's why I'm so passionate about this topic and about spreading the awareness around it. So the earlier you have that conversation with people, with your students, even if it's something small, like, hey, don't forget to take a second to breathe, take a second to focus on yourself. Those little things will help in maintaining a healthy mindset and healthy mind. You live with yourself every day.
Right, that's definitely true.
You live with yourself every single day. So the person you know me as might not be the person I see myself as. Only you truly know you. I know myself. Everyone knows themselves, how they know themselves. But because you're living with yourself every day, you need to have a strong and sound mind, and you need to have it decluttered from things. So it's important to focus on yourself and to know what's going on with you before you can, spread awareness to other people. You need to focus on bettering yourself so then you can help better other people as well.
And please, people, continue. Let's shatter the stigma that's associated with mental illness, mental health. Let's make this a forefront effort, because I know to get to a journey to economic freedom and empowerment, we're going to need sound minds as well as physical abilities to get this going, because again, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a movement. It's a lifestyle that we're trying to embark on for the masses, and we need both strong mind as well as strong physicality. As also what is it?
Post-traumatic stress disorder,
yes.
PTSD.
PTSD is real, people, in many inner cities, as well as war veterans. Please, I'm not taking nothing from y'all, but some of the aspects that's happening in a lot of the inner cities relate to a form of not actual war, but has the same forgive me for pausing. Effects, yeah, I couldn't think. Sometimes my mind gets stuck because I'm so passionate as well. So it has the same effect. So please look into that. Please don't be ashamed, and especially many kids of the inner city like myself that grew up, around lead. Some of these things cause these effects on us, and we don't even know it because we're so, at the time, ashamed to recognize it as an issue and whatnot. So please, those people, again, I'm trying to, with my co-host Shy, we're trying to reduce the stigma that is associated with it. And again, these are some of the things I think that will help. Educate yourself first. Become very knowledgeable on the situations that's going on within yourself as well as around you. Know the facts. So try not to operate in opinion when it deals with mental health. Try to operate in facts. Try to operate in facts whatever you do in life. It's possible. It's possible. Try not to operate in, that's why you'll hear me say in my opinion, because I don't know all facts all the time. Educate others. Please educate others. Start within your household. So then it will reduce the stigma as they get older and as they progress in life. And when they get around their friends and family, that it will help them. Focus on the positive of this, because it's really not a negative in my opinion, but if you focus on a positive, then you can get better results. The more positive energy we have moving forward, the more it can help others and whatnot. And then be supportive of people. Really be supportive of people. I put a quote out today, and one of my good friends, he replied back to it saying that, Bernard, what's up? If you're out there listening, he replied back to, most people don't really listen. They just listen so they can reply. So with that being stated, really support your fellow friends, people, associates, comrades, constituents. Really listen to them. If they come to you and they're telling you that they're having a mental issue, don't disregard them. Don't just say, he'll be all right because I got other issues on me. And of course, we as people have other issues. I'm going through things right now as we speak. Of course, you're going through things, I believe. We're all going through things. So I don't want to dismiss that, but be very supportive of a person, because we do not want to disqualify anyone, mentally or physically, and we want to give each and every one of us a quality life if possible. And that's what I believe is about: sharing, caring, and giving each other a quality life. Now, again, I'm not no angel, so I don't want y'all to be like, oh boy, but I'm working on me. I'm working on bettering me, as that old saying, know better, do better. So let's do better, people. Let's keep it going. Let's keep talking about it. Mental health is serious. Talk openly in the restaurants about it. You know, when you're out in public, sometimes we go with the be quiet. No, let's be open and honest with. I can't whisper. Anybody know me? No, I can't whisper. So I'm gonna be open and loud, not loud being boisterous, but just my voice carries. So I'm gonna encourage equality between physical as well as mental illness. You know, physical and mental illness. I'm gonna advocate that. You know, I'm trying to choose to empower over shame. Empowerment, people. That's part of the Hefe, journey to economic freedom and empowerment. And I believe that we can empower each other as we continue to go along. Hey, Kamala, things needs to be discussed. Thank you. I enjoy your vitamins when you share. You held me down for over 10 years, which giving me positive feedback and vitamins throughout the year. And anybody know when I say a vitamin, that's really knowledge. I call vitamins knowledge. And the more vitamins you have as you take, you get stronger. So I want to mentally get people stronger as well as physically get people stronger. So you'll always see me quoting on your page, keep sharing these vitamins, or keep sharing this vitamin, keep sharing the knowledge. The more knowledge people are equipped with, the more I think they can make an accurate decision on a subject matter or subject matters. The more knowledge they have under their in their repertoire and whatnot.
All right, so kind of just to wrap this up, because we are, I think, going over time a little bit,
right.
But
yeah, we try to keep it brief because we know people cuts out on us.
It's a lot to digest.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest, and thank all those. Excuse me,
go ahead.
Thank all those that are tuned in, shared your comments. I look for more comments on the feed after we get off the live portion of the show. And I look forward to getting back. If I don't get right back, I don't get right back, forgive us. It's because a lot going on. We have a lot of moving parts, as we stated earlier, trying to get this to a full circle for the betterment of not just me and her and her siblings and our family, but to all families. Honestly, to all fans. Anybody know me, they know what I stand for, what I believe in, and what I'm trying to achieve. And anything else, Sean?
Yeah, just to sum it, tie it all back together. In a life right now that we're living, where social media is at a forefront and everyone's posting their highlight reels, just remember that that is what it is. It's a highlight reel that we're choosing to share with everyone. So just be mindful that you don't actually know that person. You just know them based off of what they're posting. So they could potentially be going through other things. So like Dad was saying earlier, we need to be supportive of one another. We need to continue to have that dialogue with one another, share our information, receive information willingly, just so we can continue to better ourselves, those around us, family, friends, anyone that we come in contact with. So with that being said, We challenge you to get out there and spread awareness, especially this week for Mental Health Awareness Week, but every day past that October 14th, 15th date.
Yes, 365 days, 24
right.
hours, 24 hours a day. Yes, let's get rid of those stereotypes and prejudices that are associated with mental health. Thank you again for joining in. I look forward to y'all next week. I love y'all. Spread more love and happiness amongst each other and peace.